Thank you, Emmanuel Wabomba. And moving on, various organizations and leaders on Thursday showed up at the Bomas of Kenya to deliver their memorandum of what they would like the bipartisan talks to address. Among the organizations that appeared before the National Dialogue Committee was a team from the Registrar of Political Parties. The Registrar of Political Parties, and Githu, seeks that the committee consider entrenching a political parties fund in the Constitution. Mesh Musimbi prepared that story.
Do I oppose the setting up of the office of leader of the official opposition? No, I don't oppose at all.
Former Attorney General Githu has opined that the office of the leader of the opposition should be constitutionally recognized and have an official office.
Actually, I think it makes politics neater. It makes politics neater. It keeps this general closer to his troops, or to her troops for that matter.
While making his submissions before the National Dialogue Committee at the Bomas of Kenya, he proposed that the opposition is an equal formidable political force and should be constitutionally allowed to operate from Parliament, and its leader be accorded state security and distinct privileges.
The truth is, in a democracy, the opposition is a government in waiting. And therefore, in fact, the opposition has shadow cabinet ministers. So they should be operating in Parliament, shadowing the other cabinet minister, asking them questions that are informed and that help to show that this party at the next election, they are ready. They are ready to be the government. They are responsible, they are organized, and that is their general there, the leader of the official opposition. And he is accorded all due. In a democracy, the leader of the opposition actually has such high level of security clearance that he is briefed. He is briefed the same way the president is briefed. If there are national security questions, he's briefed. If there are internal threats, external threats, he's briefed. If they are visiting delegations and so on, the leader of the opposition is briefed. So that, and that is why in a democracy we call it the royal opposition, the loyal opposition. The opposition is not a hostile. It's not a hostile group of people. It is part and parcel of government. It is loyal. The opposition is loyal to the government of the day. Because after the next election, chances are that the opposition will be the government and the government will be the opposition. That's the way it should work.
This comes amid a contention among leaders, as some have maintained that it is unconstitutional.
We call on Parliament and all right-thinking Kenyans to resist the attempt to mutilate our constitution, to change the basic structure of our constitution to accommodate an office that is not in consonance with the presidential system of governance.
While others have vouched for its implementation.
Of course, we agreed collectively that any proposal that may come to support the leader of opposition, the official leader of opposition, we will be supporting that.
It will open up official channels of communication between government and the opposition, such that Raila Odinga doesn't have to call for Kamukunju, have a parallel rally. He is recognized in law, so he can come to Jamhuri Park during Jamhuri Day, and he is recognized and he will be given an opportunity to speak. If he wants to address Parliament, he will be invited as official opposition leader in Parliament and come and address Parliament. We will resource this office. They will have cars, they'll have buildings, they'll have staff, they'll have everything, so that they do official work.
It's important for us to make the old man busy. It's very important for us to give him an office. By the way, it's only fair. I mean, he got about 6.9 million votes. It's only fair to give him some good place to sit, you know, to operate from, to give government checks and stuff like that. And it's not a favor that the government is doing.
President William Ruto has vowed that he is willing to create and fund the office if creating it will allow them to keep the government in check better. Ruto cautioned that the opposition must operate within the guidelines of the constitution and that he will offer them a hand in discharging their roles.
We have absolutely no problem with our brothers in the opposition. They have a constitutional responsibility to discharge. Nimesema vile vile kama wanataka tutengeneze ofisi ya leader of opposition kule bunge, niko tayari to fund na serikali ya Kenya. Awe anatoa statement kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, hii serikali imekosa hapa, hii serikali haijafanya hii serikali imekosa pale, mimi sina problem. Ile tumekataa na hiyo sitakubali. Kwa vyovyote ni fujo na vita na kuharibu mali na kuchoma mali ya umma na kuharibu biashara ya wananchi.
On the other hand, former Defense Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa condemned police brutality meted on protesters during anti-government demonstrations. He said citizens have a right to demonstrate and picket under the constitution.
We wanted to see our police transformed from a police force to a police service, and our constitution is very clear in terms of professionalism, in terms of respect for human rights and integrity of our officers. But what happened in this country after the elections, the levels of police brutality is very worrying. Some of us on this table are victims of police brutality during these protests. And our constitution under Article 37 gives every Kenyan the right to demonstrate, to picket, unarmed and peacefully to do so. But we have a situation where the police is actually criminalizing protests. It's a very worrying situation where you are told, oh, today we'll allow you to picket or demonstrate here in Nairobi. Tomorrow will not allow you in Kisumu, will not allow you, they would allow in Eldoret. I gave the example of the Finland scandal, where parents came out, they were allowed to protest. In Kericho, we had these tea picking machines. Farmers were allowed to protest.
Furthermore, the minority leader in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi, says that Kenyans have a right to express themselves through demonstrations and are not supposed to be harmed.
In investigations, they do come across evidence that the police killings, which have been documented, were a reaction to threats posed by the demonstrators, either the police themselves or any other citizens. Okay? And even in those circumstances, was the use of lethal force, including live bullets, justified?
Mesh Msimbi, Maisha Prime News.